Call the meeting of the Sanborn Regional School Board to order at 5:01. We'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do I have a motion on the minutes for March 20th, 2024?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, great. So everyone in favor, more abstention. Okay, manifest documents. I just got those, so I'm going to sign those and send them around. Did you have any nominations or resignations?
I
don't know.
do. I have the nomination list. School year.
Yes.
So if someone could just move the list, that'd be great.
I'll make a motion to move the list nominations for next school year. Second.
Great. All in favor? Unanimous. Fabulous. Oh, and I would like to make a note that Rick Edelman is excused from this. Okay, superintendent's report.
Oh, actually, there's some resignations.
Oh,
as
there
well.
are some. Okay.
Yep. I'll just read the resignations quickly. Aaron Jacobs, fifth grade teacher, memorial. Susan Davina, middle school math intervention teacher. Simon Vaya Elliott, seventh grade science teacher, middle school. Laura Betts, special education teacher at the high school. Devin Helmke, physical science teacher at the high school. Emily LaFrancis, English and social studies teacher at the high school. Zachary Parker, students assistance counselor at the high school. And Jillian Spiro, math teacher at the high school.
I'll make a motion to approve with regrets. Second.
Right, all in favor? Unanimous? Okay. We don't I don't think we have any committee reports because. Oh, did you really need that?
I do. I need to say one thing.
Superintendent.
I don't usually love doing the superintendent's report, but it's important today. I just wanted to publicly acknowledge a few people and their efforts to support our community through the really challenging storm last week. The first person that I'd like to acknowledge is Dan Doyle. Dan and the facilities crew had the schools cleaned up, ready to go. And more importantly, Dan and I talked regularly throughout the days and nights of last Thursday and Friday about whether or not we were going to need to use the high school as a shelter for some of our senior citizens. And we came very close to needing to. Dan was ready to go. He was ready to get the cots out and welcome those kids. And he offered to sleep at the school to make sure that those folks were safe and taken care of. And I couldn't be more grateful. So thank you, Dan, for everything that you did.
Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah. The second person that I wanted to thank in the storm was Graham Pellerin, our fire chief, and the Newton community services folks, and the fire department of Newton. Graham opened the fire department for charging and warmth, and Graham was also in constant contact with me and then eventually we had the folks from the Newton town office reach out to Dan about using the high school. But what I wanted to say is that we're not perfect as a community. Our community struggles sometimes, and sometimes we point fingers, but when the chips are down, I could not have been prouder to be the superintendent of Sanborn Regional School District. I felt like everyone stepped up, everyone listened and focused, and people heard us that we wanted school to be open, but things just weren't safe enough to do that. Even the folks on Facebook were respectable. They were decent about it. It was hard. Most importantly, people stepped up to take care of those who were in need. And it really, I can't thank enough Mike Pavero and Phil Coombs. We were on the phone nonstop for almost 48 hours about the roads, the power lines, the trees that were down. I just don't think folks see what goes on behind the scenes when we're not sitting here on cameras. There was a lot that happened over those 48 hours, and I could not be more proud of our community and more grateful to be a leader in this community. I just want to thank everyone for everything that you did. It was truly inspiring. And that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you for that update. That's great. All right. So I don't think we have any subcommittee reports yet because we haven't assigned the new subcommittees, so that's what we're gonna do right now. These are my recommendations. So in trying to go along with what we said about kind of streamlining and making meetings more efficient and effective, I am going to, I put the same crew on facilities and finance so we can hold them at the same time because they work so closely together. They're really hand in hand. So for facilities and finance, I have Rick, Micah, and Jeremiah. And same thing with finance. Personnel and policy, we're going to try and run together. So for that, it's going to be Maura, Ken, and myself for both of those. I'll pass these around in a second so everybody can see them. Public relations, we're going to go with Heather, Jeremiah, and Micah. Excellence in student achievement, Dawn, Maura, and Heather. Maura has offered to be our SST representative, so that's great. Thank you for that. And Micah has agreed to be our budget committee representative again. So thank you for that as well.
Maura, thank you.
So I will pass
I
this
like
around.
the SST, but 4 o'clock on Mondays was
Very difficult. Yeah. Yep.
I appreciate
So
that.
I will pass the have those. So if there's everybody's okay with those, we'll run with them as is.
Thank you, Don, I know you put a lot of time into
Yes.
I color coded.
to move the jigsaw puzzle and do what
Yep.
things people prefer.
Yep.
So thank you.
This.
Yep.
What?
I'm really looking forward to some of these
Oh,
like
Together.
combined.
Yeah, that's the
Yep.
hope is that'll
Thank-
really just kind of help streamline and make things more efficient and effective.
oh, maybe it means who's on that.
We appreciate this initiative, Don.
Great, great, thank you. All right. Okay, so now we move to Rebecca, student council representative report.
Ben Rossi and Ben Cardoso will be receiving the Joe Yuka Scholar Athlete Award. It's an award given to those who show outstanding football skills while maintaining an outstanding academic record in the classroom. Senior Crystal Korn and sophomore River DeFeo went to represent Sanborn at the All-State Music Festival in Concord, and they spent the weekend there practicing with other musicians and had a performance on Saturday. Students and staff participated in the Red Sox rally against cancer yesterday and raised $589.52 for the Jimmy Fund. We're still collecting online donations. Today, Student Council went to Salem High School to meet with the Southern District Councils and to connect with other students. And we heard from a number of speakers about different like startup businesses they had and different events that are run out of UNH. And it was just a really good time to connect with other students who have the same goals as we do.
Great, awesome, thank you so much. All right, first public comment. Nobody's jumping. All right. Okay, overnight field trip, band and chorus all state.
I just wanted to acknowledge that, so I asked Phyllis to leave this on the agenda. The event was last Friday and Saturday. And so I just wanted to take a moment to say that Dawn and I discussed it and she signed the form so the kids could go because the board meeting was canceled Wednesday night to approve it. And then I also made the decision on Friday afternoon to allow the kids to attend despite school being canceled because the roads were safe and the event was being held and they had power at the location. So one of our biggest concerns Friday was power, not travel. And I didn't want the kids to miss out on a wonderful opportunity. Just so everyone knows, Dawn and I have been talking about the future of the way that we're structuring the board agendas. And so we will be making sure that these kinds of things are on an agenda sooner than the Wednesday before as much as possible. And I've talked to the principals about that process because now that we're trying to meet once a month, it's more important that Dawn and I talk on the Tuesday before the agenda comes out, make sure everything's in the backup file. Then that Thursday, the board receives the information with the backup. And then the following week, it goes on the agenda. So this means that things like field trips and policies, I need to really I'll have to work a little bit more differently and plan a little more carefully with Phyllis. And we're going to work collaboratively with the principals to make sure that everything's teed up for each meeting. It's a positive change. It's just, you know, a little bit of different structure to make sure that we're all set. Having said that, the kids had a fantastic time. So just wanted to give you all an update on that and thank you.
All right, school board calendar, 24-25.
Mr. Malillo, do you want to talk about that or would you like me to take it?
Well, I didn't know I was doing that.
All right, I'll take it. I'm good. I'm good.
I,
All right.
do, but
Yep. No, we just, so what we did was we laid out the school board calendar for next year based on this year. And we looked at things like the petition warrant articles were a problem. So it's a typical calendar. And what we did was we reserved the first Wednesday of each month as much as possible for a board meeting. And then we have the option for a second meeting, except in December, we have a school board meeting on the 18th, which is specifically for the reading. It'll be a short meeting for the reading of the warrant articles so that we stay in line with the budget process. Just so the public understands, that's a process in a calendar that's created by the state of New Hampshire, and we have to follow it by law. It's not there's no flexibility with that. And then we have a tentative meeting should we receive a petition warrant article in January for the due date. The board would have to review that and add it. We've never had that happen, but if we get one, we'd have to have a meeting on the 15th. So I just need everyone to hold that night. It's very unlikely that we'll have a meeting that night, but we wanted it noted on the calendar. Other than that, it's pretty straight ahead. And of course, as always, with regard to the financial or fiscal process of the deliberative, the two sessions of the deliberative, I just want to make sure everyone understands that our lawyer will review that calendar and the budget timeline in September, and then the two boards will approve that. But we've worked really hard to make sure that it lines up with this.
Fabulous, thank you.
Oh, and thank you, Phyllis, because Phyllis always works on this too and helps us out. And so, yep,
Phyllis works on everything.
I know.
We all know that.
I know. She tells me where to go and I listen. Thank you. I'm glad you know that.
Make a motion to approve?
Second,
Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Fabulous. Thank you. All right. Contingency fund approval. I'm just gonna say the mats.
Yeah.
easy.
The mats.
Yeah, but I'm going to be presenting it tonight.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'll move.
No,
It's not gonna
Oh,
put it
you're
on the
not
stage,
presenting.
Just sharing it.
no, I'm just sharing it with you.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
So this is an annual vote by the school board. Basically, the contingency fund is not actually a separate fund. It's just a reservation of fund balance. It just means that these are funds that are going to be withheld by the district and are not going to be returned back to taxpayers that otherwise reduce the tax rate. So what's happening is we're releasing about, I think, $612,000 this year. And then we're asking the school board to reserve $652,000 and $652,002. There's a typo on the bottom. Please use the $652,002. And what that represents is 2.5% of the net appropriation. So this is net appropriation is what's being taxed to the taxpayers directly. And 2.5% is what the taxpayers voted probably about 7, 8, 9 years ago. The statute allows the school district to retain up to 5%. If we want to increase that, we have to go before the voters. Now, historically, we've been telling the school board that we can use we're only going to use the funds for emergency purposes and only that. Okay. And we've also been telling the school board that at the end of the year, it automatically gets released and that we have to renew it annually. So this only represents, say, a $40,000 increase over the prior year. So it's not really a $652,000 hit to the taxpayers. Okay. Any questions?
so does that mean the surplus from the budget was around $1 million? With the 600 we're returning and 600 keeping?
Yeah, I'm anticipating after the 652,000, about $1 million.
Okay.
So is the $1 million including the 602,000 that we currently held, or is that in addition to the $1 million?
I'm sorry, Okay, I'm trying to like parse out what you're saying and make sure I'm not saying it backwards.
Thank you.
So if you don't vote this tonight, we're going to be returning about $1.6 million. Okay.
Okay.
So the $1 million is after taking out this 652,000.
So I just wanted to also mention for the transparency for the public, this money only gets spent if we spend through our entire budget and have a significant emergency with board approval. It doesn't just get spent. It has never in 7 years been used, but it does provide, when you're running a $40 million budget, if things go sideways with special ed or something else that we can't anticipate, it provides a significant support. Matt and I both strongly the Matts and I strongly recommend that you withhold this. And we typically give back about $1 million each year. So we expect to keep the tax rate relatively equalized based on our appropriations. There's no big swing, so to speak, except for what was appropriated at the second deliberative in March.
I just want to, if I can say thank you. I know there's a lot of school districts who are in deficits right now. So,
Yes.
I appreciate the, good accounting you've done in fiscal whatnot, because I know there's a lot of districts who are
Yeah.
they'd be glad to have $0 to return. So thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you.
I think a lot of the thanks should go to Tom and his leadership for the district.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to everybody.
Welcome.
I
Team
second
effort.
that. I've seen, when you watch the news and you see how districts are struggling, we're, I'm very thankful for the fiscal responsibility that we have here. It's
And I've heard in that, so, everything rises and falls on leadership. And I've heard all the way from your mouth, all the way down to teachers and everybody in between. When we're at certain points, we need to be conservative with this. We need to watch our spending. We need to only do this. And you've gotten everybody on board with that so that we can arrive here with the surplus that we have. So thank you, your team, and all of the teachers all the way down that heard that message and abided by it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
I make a motion to, I'm going to say this wrong, to hold the 2.5% of the $652,002
Mhm.
into the
Contingency.
contingency fund.
Yes.
Second.
Right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right. Thank you.
Unanimous. Thank you so much. All right. And the Mats again with the tuition rates.
Yep. So annually, we approve the tuition rates for next school year. And this particular memo right here is based upon school board policy JFAB. And it's got two different types of calculations in here. The first one is if you have like a student who wants to tuition into the district, we're going to be using the middle number, which is the adopted budget calculated rate for elementary school is $24,996.94. Middle school is $22,135.89. The high school is $23,673.86. Now, farther down on the letter is the contract amount with Fremont, and the total tuition there is $26,658.56. So I'm asking the school board to approve the tuition rates for next fiscal year.
Thank you for all the work you do to get this all squared away and all the numbers buttoned up. Because I know you not only do you have to follow policy JFAB, but you also have to follow the contract that we have with Fremont to figure out those crazy calculations. So thank you for all of that.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to move forward with this?
I'll make a motion to approve the tuition rates as Matt stated.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. All right. Second public comment. All right. Old business, photography bid review. I know last time we had brought this to the meeting and had some people that asked for more information.
Yes.
Matt was gracious and did that and sent it over. So at this point,
So when I went through this, I just want to say that I saw the prices between Geskus and Life Touch to be fairly much the same. If you look at like Geskus option 1, if you look at Geskus option 2 and 3, it's actually less cost to the parents. And then I also have to say that what I'm hearing is both of the schools really like working with both of the companies. Okay. I'm sure Matt can probably talk more about, he's seen both of them.
Yeah, I've seen Life Touch here at Sanborn, and I've used Geskus at another district, and they're both, reputable, and so it's really like, close to your parents and have received the packages, so it's really whatever you're comfortable with.
I appreciate you doing this. I was one of the people that asked. I think if I'd like to save cost to the caregivers, picture prices are ridiculous. So I would be comfortable moving with Geskus if their prices are lower for families.
Would you like to make a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion to go with Geskus for our photography bid for the district.
Second.
right, is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor? All right, so we have Jeremiah, Maura, Micah, Heather, and Ken, and I am an abstention. All right, well, this was a quick one. Look at that. All right, next meeting agenda. Next Sanborn Regional School Board meeting will be held on Wednesday, May 15th, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the library at the Sanborn Regional School District. And also the Budget Committee will reconvene on Thursday, May 16th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the library. Regional School District. These are supposed to say high school. I'm
Oh.
just realizing as I'm reading it,
Sure.
they're both nice, library, the high school. I know we had set our facilities and finance subcommittee meetings to start at 6, but
Yep.
if the board is okay with it.
Can we do a brief non-public and?
Oh, yeah, we could do the non-public first and then go to 6. Perfect. All right, great. All right, then we will, if someone wants to move us into non-public. Move in.
I'll move us into non-public per RSA 91-A semicolon 3, Roman numeral 2, B, C, K.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, roll call. Jeremiah.
Yes.
Maura.
Yes.
Micah.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Heather.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Okay, great.